Welcome back, everybody, to the Fluent Podcast. I'm Ebony.
And I'm Tiffany.
And we are here with episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany, that's unbelievable.
I know. It just keeps going.
It just keeps going. Tiffany's in a mood today, you all. So, excuse me, Tiffany is standing on her business today. But she does have a blazer on, so there's some serious shit happening in her head right now. She has her power blazer on.
I was thinking business.
It turns me on when you think about business. I'm sorry. Shout out to Reese. Big Reese.
It's hilarious.
So we're on episode 4, and I'll be honest with you. I was contemplating all morning, like what direction I wanted to go in, what I wanted to throw at you. And I'll tell the audience a funny story. Tiffany and I both separately wanted to do a podcast for over 5 years. I have a podcast that I'm not going to discuss right now because it is going to come to fruition. And it'll be an extension to the Fluent Podcast, which is going to be pretty amazing in the future. But when we discuss the podcast that we wanted separately, and then we looked at each other, and it was like a moment that you see on television. It was like, let's just do it together. So in the first few weeks of recording, I was recognizing that we're equal, right? And I didn't want Tiffany to feel like I was Beyonce and she was Kelly, because there's no Michelle for us. Is it just Beyonce and Kelly?
Yeah.
Or we gonna give Michelle some credit? The producer, maybe. No. So anyway, it's just Beyonce and Kelly. And I was like, Tiffany, I'm giving off all this Beyonce energy where the audience is hearing me and I'm asking you questions. And Tiffany said what?
I'm okay with being Kelly.
I'm okay with being Kelly as well. So we can play Beyonce and Kelly all day, but this band is not breaking up. And Beyonce and Kelly have not broken up.
They have not.
Family. So I just wanted to let you all know, whoever's thinking it, this is not Ebony's podcast. And I'm saying that because it came to me. It's not my podcast. This is our podcast. And we're 2 Leos standing on our business, excited to heal out loud with you all, and can't wait to talk about more. So I'm going to be honest with you. I already know what I want to talk about. But of course, because we're a partnership, Tiffany has to be in agreement. I want to talk about boundaries today.
I like talking about boundaries.
I want to talk about boundaries without guilt, because I think that's the predicate, is the boundaries without guilt.
I've never felt guilty for setting a boundary.
So we don't feel guilty about peace. We don't feel guilty about the sorry. And we don't feel guilty about boundaries. I'm going to venture out you all to say that therapy might be working with her. And we're going to work on our laughter, because we did get that feedback.
Move back.
Laughter. Back off the mics when we laugh. But if you know us, you know that a lot of our relationship is built around laughter. And those of us who want to live a long and healthy life, I hope you're laughing. As I ask my children and people I love often, when was your last gut-wrenching laugh? You got to think about those things, because there's laughter, and then there's you want to throw up laughter.
Bruh.
So you should be asking yourself and loved ones, when was your last gut-wrenching laugh? Tiffany's thinking about it.
It's because that happens often for me.
It happens often, same.
Girl.
When it doesn't, you have to know that it's not happening and surround yourself around who it happens with. I think that that's important. All right. That's all I have to say before we go in. So who's ready to talk about boundaries?
Let's go.
Do you all have your pen and papers and ready to write some notes? Because I think we're going to have some healthy dialogue. Because we've talked about boundaries a lot. So where do I want to start with boundaries? Well, let me say this. I'm still a student of boundaries.
I'm an expert.
I'm a college student. I'm not an elementary
I have my
student.
PhD.
You got your PhD.
In boundaries.
I thought I had my PhD in boundaries, and some who know me may say she's had her PhD in boundaries since she was 7.
I feel like you have shown boundaries.
I do, but I could be better. And as I learn and unlearn things in this healing journey, which we're all going to go through, I just wanted to point that out. Like, I'm a student of boundaries. We already sent out a public service announcement last week that we're not your therapist. we're on this podcast, Healing Out Loud, in the hopes, is to resonate with anyone and everyone around their healing journey, because we know that a healing journey is very difficult. It's a community. And you all know that I don't get in the arena with anybody that's not in a healing journey. It's just not going to happen. And that doesn't mean that you spoke to a therapist when you were 12. I'm not getting in I'm not having a conversation with you either. I mean, someone that has actively been in therapy
as an adult
and working through their shit. So that said, I'm sitting across from someone, meaning Tiffany, who has helped me grow in real time. Because she tells me, yeah, sit with that for a moment. Oh, she's so sweet. Because you tell me the truth.
I mean, we tell each other the truth.
Oh, we absolutely do.
So, I mean, it's mutual.
I think what I'm learning with you, and maybe, again, it's because you're early, Leo, I think I'm learning kindness in a different way. Because, as Jill Scott said, she's got a sword, and it's long, and it's sharp.
And I will chop you down.
You also do it with such kindness. You really do.
Because I'm a sensitive person. Like, my whole life, I've been sensitive.
I want to touch you right now.
Like, people looking at me used to make me cry.
Oh, wow. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, my mother hated it. She used to be like, what is wrong with you? We're leaving now.
I can't imagine that.
Well, because I think over time, like, as a sensitive person, you go in optimistic and then people hurt you. And it's like, oh, okay. So I need to create an armor for that. And then I need to create an armor for that. So it's like you build up this armor.
Build up the armor. Would you classify me as sensitive?
Yes.
I'm very sensitive. So who's not sensitive? I guess that's what I want to know.
Mitchell is not sensitive.
Is it okay to just throw my homeboy out? I was hoping you'd say like a celebrity, but she went straight to it. Well, don't give his name, just that name. Nobody knows him by that name, so that's fine. But I don't disagree with you, actually. Has some sensitivity, but at the core, you don't necessarily see it. And he was at my home recently. Yes, you gave me a frame of reference. That's all I needed was a frame of reference. But when you were talking about your sensitivity, I think with my armor and how I built it from age, I'm thinking 8. I'm starting to find out it was a lot sooner, but it feels like 8 for me from what I can remember. My sensitivity, I don't feel it as much because my armor is on my exterior. But when you said that, it softened me. And what life I'm looking for now, and I know the reference is soft life, and that's cool. Like, I'm fine with references. But for me, it goes back to living in the pink.
Yeah.
And we never elaborated on you and why pink was your favorite color, even though you don't wear it. But I think it's something about the girl in you when I think about the color pink. So I'm trying to live in my pink. And my daughter was explaining something to me. So I won't share that right now because I do want us to do a podcast on finding your pink again.
Okay.
Because I'm actively exploring that. But I am sensitive. You're right.
So after that conversation, and I was like, I think pink, I don't wear pink. I went home and I was like, do I have pink clothes? So I started looking through my closet. I don't have any pink clothes. The only thing pink that I wear is my headband.
Right. But your whole studio is pink.
Right. And you know what? One of my littles asked me, like,
what do littles mean, Tiffany? The audience doesn't know.
I have clients under the age of 10 and they're like my best friends. But one of them asked me,
we're a little worried that your clients under 10 are your best friends.
Because they see me.
They tell you exactly, and they tell you the truth.
And
too.
She asked me, she said, why did you paint this wall pink? Why you got a lot of pink in here? And I was like, I love pink.
Wow.
I was like, I love pink. I was like, what's your favorite color? No, I said, you don't like pink? She was like, no, I love pink. But my favorite color is blue. But I love this pink. I love it. I like seeing all the pink in here. And I was like, oh.
Changing lives, girl. Yeah. But the one thing I'll say about you too, Tiff, is that while we're establishing boundaries, whether it's with each other or we see each other establishing boundaries with other people, you always do it with such compassion. And I really appreciate that. I do.
I try. Like, even though
we don't try in this relationship, remember?
yes, I do. Even though, like, I do have, this polished look in regards to like my emotions.
Say that again, because that is so fucking true.
Yeah, like I just learned to like keep it together. Like it's to the point where I had to retrain myself how to cry, because again, you can't cry in the military.
Wow.
Especially not as a Black woman. Fuck out of here.
So we get abused over and over and over. I know we're going to talk about boundaries, but when you talk about crying, it's so interesting because I learned how to cry in the last 10 years. I would say, honestly, the last 5 years, but I had a good cry 10 years ago. And I remember crying and my daughter looking at me. And I don't know if I have the vocabulary to share like what I saw on her face, but essentially she looked at me like, oh, she is normal, because at that age she had never seen me cry. And I think that's another area. I'm not going to apologize to our whole podcast, but that's
because we don't apologize.
Where I wish she saw more of that side of me, because I'm having to now reteach her things that I don't agree with anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to be submissive in your relationship. I want you to cry. So as of lately, I've been timing my cries. Like, I'm very busy. So there are times like right now, if I want to cry, I'm like, hey, you're going to have a bath tonight at 8. Go back to that feeling, get the cry out, where before I would just suppress it and move on, which built autoimmune disease and all of these other illnesses that you have. So now I schedule my cries.
I do too.
I just have them in the moment.
I don't schedule them. I just cry at certain times of the day. So basically,
schedule them.
But it's not like planned. It's not like, oh, I'm going to cry today. It's just, I don't like venture into areas that will trigger me before 10:30 p.m. Because after 10:30, my husband's in the bed, he's sleeping, and the kids is off doing whatever. Because the first time my kids saw me cry, yes, they look petrified.
Right, same.
And so now I have to explain to them, all moms cry.
That's right.
Like, now I got to have this conversation. And so it's just like, I don't want them to be afraid of women and their emotions, but also like, I don't want to do this. So I honestly, I just try not to cry in front of them.
I just had this moment where I thought about, we were once little girls. I was going to say, no, we both have little girls. We don't. I don't have a little girl, but I definitely have a little baby. I said little girl, and then I said baby. I definitely have a daughter, a young adult. And you have 2 boys, and I have a son. And I don't know if we slow down long enough to think about the responsibility we have to raise future mothers and future fathers. And I don't know if we look at that when we're raising our kids enough. Not just you're raising your son and your daughter, your son and your son, but we're also raising future mothers, future partners. And I don't know, that just resonated with me for a second, and I just wanted to share it.
I think about that when I have conversations with my kids. I always think about how they're going to turn out for their partner or for their kids, how they're going to show up for their kids. I do think about stuff like that. When I have like a teachable moment, I always make sure to let them know, like, you're going to be somebody's father. You're going to be somebody's husband.
Potentially. Not everybody wants to be a husband, and not everybody wants to be a father.
Did I tell you what Mason said?
What did he say?
Well, my youngest son, he's 12, and he said that.
Is Mason okay with you sharing his name and telling his age? Because
that's my social butterfly.
Okay. I just said his name.
You
gotta be careful with teenagers. You gotta ask permission.
He's different, but he's fine. Okay. They're both fine.
Okay. But Mason did what?
He came in the room and told me that he didn't want to get married. And I was like, excuse me? Like, you have married parents. Like, are we not doing a good enough job or setting a good enough example?
You totally didn't. Lost your shit.
I was like, sit down and explain this to me.
Yeah, just breathe.
And it was like an hour-long conversation. And he basically says, well, I don't want to get married because what if my wife leaves me? She's going to take half my money.
Oh my God, where did he see this? He saw this on television.
Him and his friends. I was like, this is what 12-year-olds talk about?
No way.
Yeah.
It was a 12-year-old in that conversation who father or mother or somebody did it to one another.
Period.
That's what happened.
Yeah. And so I looked at him and I said, you don't have money. What money are you protecting? And he's like, well, when I'm a grown up, I'll have money. And I'm like, okay, have you ever heard of a prenuptial agreement? He was like, what is that? And now he's interested. What is that? And I was like...
So I just want to tell my children and the people when I was raising... I'm coming back to you. When I was raising my children that there are Black families like us.
Period.
Hello.
But I was like, it's a document, just like your marriage license, that if you were to get a divorce, what's hers is hers and what's yours is yours.
Or whatever is in the document.
Yeah, whatever's in the document. Yeah. And he was like, oh, I didn't know there was like other options. I didn't know there were other options. I'm like, yeah, like what? And then
that's the beauty. We do have options.
Yeah. I'm just glad he had a mom that was like, come, let's talk about this.
Because what? Just pat herself on the back.
Sure did. I give myself my flowers. Because what?
How many brain bites do you have today for this podcast? Because I'm not talking about your whole day. No, you have a whole day.
I don't know. Unlimited tokens.
Ooh, for this. Oh, then we're going to learn today, baby. We're going to learn today. So, Tiff, let's do it. Let's start talking about boundaries. I'm thinking of some questions in my head now around what feels good to me with sharing boundaries with our audience and something that they could take away from it. As I'm thinking about it, because we're a music podcast too, I'm thinking about like what song will we share regarding boundaries? But all of that creative shit can wait. Ebony, just think about your questions. So when people say, I need boundaries, what do you think they actually mean?
I think sometimes when people reach a point where they're just tired of certain things happening or reoccurring, that's their way of like trying to regain their sanity.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to cut people off, or at least that energy off, so that you can have space to do that.
I mean, I'm sure the audience will say, they will find out that I'm a robot. And I literally have been saying the same.
Mitchell calls us robots all the time.
I'm fine with that. To me,
I used to be offended. And then when he started calling you a robot, I was like, maybe it's a Leo thing.
Call it whatever you want, but I'm consistent.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what he really means to say. He really means to say that we're consistent.
And we're super polished. I think that's it too.
I can work on being more polished. I have an opportunity to get better there, but I'm also working on not looking at life as it has to be perfect as an OCD person as well. So there's a lot going on, but remember, I have a therapist. Focus on you.
Period.
I'm working on my shit. But having said that, I think that when you look at the robotic part of it, it's really not Mitchell. He sees us as robotic, but we're really consistent, which doesn't feel good to him necessarily, but it feels good to us. And I think going back to boundaries, people are asking for something because they really don't know how to say what they really want. They don't know how to say what they really want. They're usually abandoning themselves and they don't have the verbiage to say, I need this.
Yes, that is true.
That's how I see it when I didn't, because I really do think that I learned boundaries before I understood what they were. I set boundaries very early. I remember 10, 11, 12 setting boundaries.
Well, boundaries are tethered to your emotions. So that's probably why. If you felt a certain type of way, then it's like your body just knows that this boundary is necessary.
I think that's so real because I need boundaries. And usually somebody saying they need boundaries is I do not want to abandon myself. So I think that that's a really good point. Thank you for sharing that, Tiff. In your words, what are boundaries supposed to protect?
I think boundaries protect your peace, your time, your energy, and your emotional safety. They protect the parts of you that are fragile and that overgiver, that people pleaser.
Okay, I don't want to go on a tangent. But that said, I never saw myself as a people pleaser. Would you see me as a people pleaser?
Yes, I could see you as a people pleaser.
I never saw myself as that, but as I reflect back on the last few years, my people pleasing shows up different than everybody I know, so it didn't look like people pleasing to me.
Mm.
Tiffany's like, what the fuck does that mean? Your face was like, process. Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, you're right. It doesn't look like the traditional people pleasing, but I think just the way that, and obviously I didn't know you back then, but the way you would tell me about your life, it very much sounded like people pleasing.
Do you have an example that you can share on air? That is PG.
I think just your whole persona back then, like, I don't want to say like a Stepford wife, but like being a perfect wife.
Oh, you're talking about when I was married.
Yeah.
We can have that conversation. I didn't know where you were going, so I just got to ask. Leo's been on some bullshit.
No, not today.
Okay, you're good.
But I think
marriage. That's fine.
Yeah, that time of your life, which is very perfection.
Do you know that I used to have in my phone perfect husband, perfect kids, perfect this, perfect that? Did you know that?
No, but I could see that.
It wasn't like we were saying we were perfect. It was because the outside world called us perfect. So we were kind of laughing at it. Like, no, we're not perfect. And that's interesting that you said that. And this is why I love being so organic with you, because I don't think I'm looking at your face and I don't think I ever told you that. So when you said that, I immediately smiled. And there were nothing's perfect. And therapy has helped me to understand that. But there were some parts of our lives that was really, really good. And I think that you see that show up every day when you engage with my children. You see the magic of what they experience growing up. But you also see the hardship. But that's the levity of life. And you have to take, as they say, the good with the bad. And I don't really look at any of it as bad. I look at it as just growth. It's things that you have to grow from. And now I release my children into the world. And I release myself of any shame. And they now have to grow and evolve and figure out the things that help them to have the best life that they can have. But here's the caveat. As a healed mom or a mom on a healing journey, I can always show up and say, I'm sorry. It cost me fucking nothing.
Yeah.
It cost me nothing to show up for my kids and say, hey, I didn't hear that the right way. I didn't say that the right way. I apologize. Even especially when it comes to their childhood. Now, these days, we're going to have a different conversation. But when it comes to their childhood, you may not always see it the way that they saw it. But it costs you fucking nothing as a parent to see your kids.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a tangent.
No, I fucks with it because every day I'm like, I really hope I'm not traumatizing my kids.
You are.
Well,
no, you are.
That's some bullshit because I've really been leaning hard into gentle parenting.
I'm a gentle parent now. My Madison, I'll say her name. Madison can't stand it. She's like, it literally it gives me anxiety. I need you to be Ab. And I'm like, I am Ab. So I'm very much so a gentle parent at this stage in my life, which is really, I don't like the word really. I welcome it because it allows me to live in that pink. And that's the part that people miss. They're looking like, I don't want to do that with my kids. No, you should. Because it's not just what they need and require, it's also what you need and what you require.
Yeah, because, I mean, at the end of the day, and I'm still coming to terms with this, as they grow up, they become adults. Like, we have to move on. Yeah. Like, that part of your life is over.
It happens so fast.
I know, I don't.
And if you could, I felt that. And if you could slow it down. I like that Maddie's like little and petite. So sometimes when she comes around, I can like blink and be like, okay, she's still 12. Even though she did it, but she's married, so she can do that. But I can look at her and she still looks 12 to me with the biggest pinky cheeks that she has with the blush she wears so well. but I can have this vision, which is, delusion. And I'm not a delusional person, but I'm trying to learn how to live in delusion. But if you can slow down long enough to enjoy the next few years, Tiffany, because once they become adults, there's a whole nother way to raise them, which we'll definitely talk about raising, not raising, but engaging and supporting adult children, because I'm learning that. And I think I'm really good at that too.
Yeah. I pray that I'm good at it.
Yeah. You will be.
I need to start preparing myself now.
You don't. You need to live in this moment. We just talked about that. You'll learn how to do it in that moment, because we've raised children who won't allow us to love them the way that they want to be loved anyway. So remember, they'll educate you on what they need.
Yeah, I know. My kids are very vocal with their emotions.
Very much so. But yes, when I'm thinking, if I want to tie us back to boundaries and what we put language, how we put the language to our listeners, boundaries are limits and standards you set to protect your peace, emotional safety, and your well-being, I would say. So boundaries are limits and standards you set to protect your peace, emotional safety, time, and well-being. That's how I would look at my boundaries. That's how I would encourage you all to look at your boundaries as well. What are your thoughts around that?
100%. I'm all in about protecting your peace, emotional safety. That's a huge one.
Emotional safety is huge. That psychological safety is huge as well, which kind of is the big sister to it. But emotional safety is huge. And how do you unpack? I mean, that's a whole nother thing to unpack.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, take a list to your therapist. When you're starting, take the time to write down exactly what you want to accomplish and learn, but also on a weekly basis. Hey, I want to accomplish this today, because what happens in talk therapy, which is traditional therapy, for most people, you tend to go there and just talk about what happened in the previous week. And then when you look at why you're here, it could be 6 months in and you haven't accomplished any of your goals. So on the onset, write down exactly what you want to cover in therapy.
100%. Or even as you go through it, like how they be sitting there with their little notepad. I come with my notepad too. Shit, we both writing notes.
You got a notepad, I got a notepad.
Hello? We keeping track of what each other said.
We keep track.
Because I need to make sure you're actually helping me, because
it's such a blessing.
I'm just saying.
Do you believe boundaries are controlling other people or protecting them?
I believe that two things can be true. I think boundaries overall is to protect your peace, your emotional safety. Like, it is a protection tool. But I do feel like boundaries have elements of controlling others. Because remember I told you my aunt ripped my blinds down?
We're doing this. Yes.
Yeah, that bitch is never allowed in my house until I know she cannot rip my blinds down.
Or that you feel that your temperament is in a space where you can allow.
She needs to be able to control herself, her emotions. Like, so yes, there is an element of control when it comes to boundaries. Because if you can't control yourself, why are you here?
I mean, that's the key. A boundary is not what you want someone else to do. A boundary is what you will do if something continues. And I learned that I've been in therapy 28 to 48. That's 20 years. And now 22 years. Off and on. I haven't been in therapy for 22 years, you all. But I've been in therapy off and on for 22 years. And I took a 2-year hiatus a few years ago, and I'm back in therapy with a new therapist who is very unorthodox, but exactly what I need. And what I'm recognizing with this therapist is she's like, you don't have to like boom, 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 boundary, boundary, boundary.
Ebony got her fingers going.
You don't have to do that. You can just say, hey, Tiffany, can we have a conversation? I used to be like, hey, I need to have a boundary conversation with you. Exactly. So people be like, oh, shit, what are we talking about?
Oh, God.
So some people at that time, back then, didn't even know what a fucking boundary was. I love social media for you all. But they didn't even know what a boundary was. So now I'm understanding that I can just quietly detach. Because A boundary is a conversation now.
Yeah.
It's not me continuously telling you, you're impacting boundary.
Mm-hmm.
You're not listening to my boundary.
You know what? Over the years, I've learned, because I've never been great at having boundary conversations. But I learned that instead of trying to force myself to be a certain way to get people to understand that I don't like what you did or said, da-da-da-da, my demeanor changed. I think naturally, I wouldn't say bubbly. I'm a naturally optimistic person.
I think you're bubbly. What's wrong with that? I feel like you put a whole
bubbly is crazy.
Like, you're not a cheerleader, but you have high energy.
Yes.
And you have a very positive outlook in
yes.
life.
And my vibe is very welcoming.
What bothered you about bubbly?
When I think bubbly, I think of them women who speak at the highest octave that their voice would go.
Well, I shouldn't say it's annoying because that's their voice, if it's really their voice. Because people play that game too. Why is this so funny?
Oh my God.
Because you're thinking about something.
Yes. Okay. I don't know. Bubbly don't feel good to me.
Okay. Don't use it. Don't use it. If it doesn't feel good to you, I don't want you to use it. But I will say you are a positive person.
Mm-hmm.
And when people say that I'm not a positive person, it's because my positivity looks different.
Your demeanor changes, though.
What do you mean?
That's what I... No, that's where I was going, is because, like, we're naturally high energy people. Yeah. But when you cross a boundary, my high energy comes down to medium energy. Ooh. If you continue to cross that boundary, now we have low energy and you get stoic face.
So you have brain bites and you have a battery of energy.
Yes.
Okay.
In regards to my boundaries, that you can deplete my social battery by overstepping my boundaries. And I feel like the way my energy changes is very clear to people. Oh, something happened.
Yeah.
And if you want to know, you can ask me. Hello? Because then we're never... So if I get invited to a lunch by a friend, say you invited me to a lunch, and there's like 6 people there, and one of those people just completely...
The aura is not good.
Yes. They will never see me again.
Got it.
Because I'm that friend
that... they're invited back to another lunch.
I won't be there.
You won't be there. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's setting the right tone for your life. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Always and forever. I am
girl.
Here for it. Always and forever.
And so going back to you, I think that's where, if someone's like, oh, you're not a positive person, you're overstepping my boundaries currently, you don't get to enjoy my positivity.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stuff that I do that I don't necessarily think about, because many things around this healing journey it was innate for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just rooted in my childhood. I think that, I know, because I'm working on guys, and I think my mother was such a militant leader in the community growing up that there's just things about my Blackness that you can't take away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my Black is the shit.
Yeah.
I'm not a Black girl that grew up as, what do people tell y'all Black people in America, that you're African Americans? Like, I am a true African American.
Oh, I'm like, what?
My dad is, my father, not dad, because you got to earn dad.
Mm-hmm.
My father is African and my mother's American. Mm-hmm. So I grew up with my shoulders high because I knew where I came from. Mm-hmm. And that was huge for me. So I think a lot of the tone was set for me earlier on. So when people see me today and they say, you walk in a room like you own it, I'm not walking in a room like I own it, but there's a sense of pride in who I am just on the onset. And then everything else that I've done for myself and with myself. But my biggest joy in life is obviously my 2 wonderful children. Mm-hmm. They're amazing. And the fact that I've put my healing at the forefront of what I do. Mm-hmm. I think that's remarkable.
Yeah. And it's important for your kids to see.
100%. I think it absolutely has set the tone for how they deal with their mental and emotional well-being. And I sit back in awe. I do. When it comes to, and do they do it perfectly? No, none of us do anything perfectly. And as a perfect family, we're working on not looking at things being so perfect. But yeah, absolutely. So when you think about boundaries, why do boundaries feel uncomfortable even when they're healthy?
I think it's because it feels like rejection, and that's okay. Like, feeling rejected is a normal thing that humans feel. Um, you should just take that, sit with it, think about it, and see where you can grow versus lashing out at the person who established the boundary. But I think, honestly, I think that's the biggest issue is that, and then people that just don't like change.
They don't like change.
Yeah.
They're
somebody
not agents of change, but I think that's where that compatibility piece comes in. And finding someone that had a similar background to you in a healthy way. Because if you grew up having some understanding of boundaries, maybe not knowing what the word was, but having some understanding, it's easier for you to transition in a relationship with someone that also has healthy boundaries. But conversely, if you're in a relationship with someone that has healthy boundaries and someone that has unhealthy boundaries, there's always going to be confliction.
Yeah.
For sure. It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
There's
I agree.
we could argue back, it's going to be. And if that person has self-awareness, there's some positives there. But if that person is not self-aware, it's going down.
Which is so crazy to me. Like, now that I'm getting up in my big age, running into people, I'm 30-something.
Oh, she be like 30-something, bitch. I'm 49. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
But it's weird running into people my age that are not self-aware.
Yeah.
Like,
at your age.
Yeah, like,
even in your 20s. What the fuck? Like, listen, you, like I said, you guys have too many resources. I don't want to hear anything from anybody in this day, in this time.
If they're under 25, I will give them a pass.
Hell no.
But I mean, not that I don't expect more.
Correct.
But if they're unaware of themselves, I will give them a pass. And I'll be like, bitch, you got about 5 more years. And then that pass will. Once a person hits 30, yeah, pass is revoked.
She's saying all that, but then she only give them about 4 brain bites.
Yeah.
They probably get 2.
Yeah.
2 of your brain bites.
Because I can't. You no longer have access to the bathroom pass. Hold it.
Did something happen with you in elementary school? With the bathroom pass? Did the teacher make you... Something happen?
No. Well, it wasn't me. It was other students that would go and do stuff and hang out with their friends with the bathroom pass and then come back right before class is over.
I don't know what that... Maybe that was my trigger. I don't know what that was about, but my mother always gave us like these rules before the school year started, which is interesting because when my ex-husband would want to have these conversations with our kids before the school year, I was like, this is new, but I'm starting to realize it was never new. Like, these were things that I had growing up. And my mother would say, and if you ask to use the bathroom and the teacher doesn't give you the hall pass, just walk out.
No, my mother used to say that too.
I'm not just...
That is funny. My mother did brief us about school. She briefed us about everything. Getting on a train, going in the store. Going in the store, I ain't got no money, so don't ask for shit. The answer is no. That's it.
What do you do with your kids when you go in the store?
Just throw it in the bag. Whatever. I don't care. If they want it, you got it, kid. Whatever.
With my children, you had to be careful and be in the back of the register, not the front. Because if you were in the front, they would just put shit through.
Oh,
and
my
you would
gosh.
just like, and then you would look and be like, why am I spending this much when I was shopping at Target? Because I'm a part of the process.
The Target.
And I don't shop at Target. But that used to be the worst place because you could just pick stuff up and throw it on the counter, and that environment just kept you shopping.
Yeah.
But I was curious to see what you do with your kids. You just buy.
But here's the thing, though. My boys they're not going to pick up like 10 things. They will only pick up one thing.
Nice.
Can I have this? Yeah, of course.
That's so sweet. And then they ask. They don't just put it on the counter like my children.
Well, Maurice did steal something one time from Walmart.
I think that's great.
And he was so embarrassed, so shamed, because he was like, I didn't know I couldn't take it. He was like 7. He was like, I didn't know I couldn't take it. And I was like, we're in the store. Like, when
but
do
you're thinking at your big age.
Yeah, like
with your mentality.
I mean, but
It's
okay,
not
would you
common
go to
sense,
someone's
though.
house and take something? Even a spoon. Would you just take a spoon from
I
someone's
mean,
house?
there are certain stories I'm not going to share. So I'm going to move on. And I'm going to go back to boundaries because I don't want to get in any trouble. We're all in a good place right now. But when I think about boundaries too, with discomfort doesn't mean you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes discomfort means you're healing. And I feel like I've been healing my whole life because I'm always in discomfort. And it's the company that I keep. I have to think about when I feel discomfort and when I don't.
Mm.
Like even this week, you and I had not contentious, you and I had not difficult, a spirited.
Mm-hmm.
You and I had a spirited conversation. I felt discomfort for seconds. Just think about when you're in certain companies with different people, your discomfort can linger.
Yeah.
Just something for you to pay attention to. Because I was thinking about that this week, you know, being in business and still trying to figure things out, you know, with the Kelly and the Beyonce, you know, both opinions matter, both, you know, carry the same weight. And we're still learning, you know, what feels good for you and what feels good to me. And I'm a processor. So after the conversation, you're okay with me sharing this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to share the whole thing. But after the conversation, I was just like, okay, how did you feel in that moment? Because I check in with my body all the time. I know my soulmate is listening like, yes, she do. That bitch know her body. I know this body. I will tell you if I'm going to be sick next Tuesday at 6 p.m. And they're like, how do you know? Because I know.
Yeah.
Because I take my lemon olive oil shot every fucking morning. That's how I know. But I was just checking in, scanning my body. I love when Maddie says, well, I just did a scan on my body. I'm like, oh my God, I'm the best fucking mother ever. My 22-year-old just scanned her body. I love that for us. But I scanned my body and I was like, I'm safe. I'm safe with you.
I love that.
I'm safe.
And then also, I feel like I'm learning you. And I had this conversation with Mitchell last night. I was like, you taught me how to...
Ebony or Mitchell?
Mitchell.
Okay.
Because you and him are similar in a sense when it comes to protecting your emotions and your boundaries. And sometimes it could come off defensive, but me, like from Mitchell, but learning him as my brother, it's like, okay, he's not being defensive. This is just how his emotions are coming out.
Right.
And he was like, is that,
That's
yeah,
fluent.
yes.
Right.
And he asked me, he was like, wait, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I was like, no, you prepared my emotional diversity where I can...
Your emotional diversity.
Yeah. I mean, it don't get much worse than a sibling who has a hard time controlling their emotions. Granted, he's done great work and he's in a much better place. But growing up, he's always been like just a hothead. And so...
He's still a hothead, ma'am.
He's a conservative hothead.
Cute little words behind it.
He's working on it.
Okay.
But he helped prepare me to not always feel triggered when someone wants to have a quote unquote difficult conversation. So when we had our conversation, I didn't feel negative. I didn't feel, it wasn't an ugly conversation. It was just, okay, so what did you mean by this? What I meant this. And okay, well, I felt this and I was triggered by that. And it was just a healthy conversation.
I mean, I look forward to being in a romantic relationship again. Because it's got to be like that.
And you know what?
It's got to feel just the way it felt that day. I'm not being funny.
And I mean, also my husband, like these two Virgos. Oh my God. Yeah, the way they tiptoe on my keys, I've had to learn, like...
Wait, what does that mean?
Like my piano. They just be... Ding,
got
ding,
it.
Ding, ding, just... You ever seen that?
I did not. Just explain it. Don't waste your time.
This is a movie you should know. It's from your time frame. I barely know the names of these people.
Okay.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Yes, the movie with... I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
That.
I thought you were going to do, like, Living Single. Mitchell did this whole thing, Veronica with her, you don't know Living Single. I don't know. Like, leave me alone, but I can always go watch it. Stop, people.
But, yes, it's just...
Got it.
Yeah.
That's how you feel.
I'm the piano.
You're the piano.
And they would run across my keys just all willy-nilly trying to make a song.
Gotcha.
Get off me.
Gotcha.
But instead of saying I have been the get off me type of person.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more so of like, how can we make a beautiful sound versus it sounding chaotic.
Did I text that to you? I was like, we have to be on the same sheet of music.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you brought that. See, I understand that.
Full
but
circle.
That's a great segue to what the difference between boundaries and being mean. Because that's what I heard you say when you were saying that. Is there a difference between here's a boundary or you being mean?
I mean, I feel like being mean is you're being malicious and intentionally trying to be hurtful. Yeah. Whereas boundaries is just you're coming from a place of love.
And your overall safety for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to kindness isn't the same as availability.
Mm. What do you mean by that?
I mean, to be clear, what boundaries are not. Mm-hmm. Right? What boundaries are not. So boundaries are about protection, not punishment. That's how I look at it. It's what boundaries are not.
Okay.
Boundaries are about protecting. It's not about punishing. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people look at it as when you ask me to do something that doesn't feel good to the person you're asking, obviously. Because if someone's saying something doesn't feel good to me, you should be immediately stopping it. Or at least asking probing questions. Where's the curiosity? I think that's what we've lost as humans. We don't have enough curiosity. Like I was curious to understand, and you said the same thing without using a word. You were curious to understand where I was coming from. Mm-hmm. I was genuinely curious to understand where you were coming from. Mm-hmm. In turn, it was a great, loving, and supportive conversation. And the next conversation we had after that, there wasn't landmines. Mm-hmm. Because we both knew we were coming from a good place. Yeah.
I hate that.
What do you hate?
When
I'm trying not to use that word, right? I just repeated what you said.
Very intensely is my dad.
My bad.
When you have a conversation with someone and you think it clears up whatever it was, but it's still lingering there.
It still lingers.
I don't like that.
That's disassociated. That's their issue. That's why I keep trying to explain to people in a healing journey, you got to be with like-minded people. It's that prejudiceness, but you have to be prejudiced in a way.
Yeah, you can't sit with us. And we wear pink on Wednesdays.
So can I tell my KKK story, or do you think it's too much for our audience?
I mean, we're 4 episodes in. I feel like, do y'all know us enough? Do they know us enough?
I'm ready to tell my KKK story.
It makes sense. Go with it. Let's go with it.
It's, as you all know, because you learned today, I've been in therapy over the course of 22 years. And I've been trying to figure this out for so long. And it came to me in a dream. That's why listening to those mindful things when you go to sleep help you to like get into your subconscious and really be who you are, because that's who you are, right? It's not your conscious body that you live every day. And I know some may be not well with what I'm about to say, but hear me out. Listen to it a few times. And if you know, you know. Here's the thing about what I'm about to say. If you're in a healing journey, you get it. This is where here's a true test. This is where you will know where you are in your journey. So how I look at people in a healing journey is like the KKK. And I'll use Tiffany as an example. So when I first started going to Tiff, she was working at the Aveda salons. And if you know, I'm a Aveda girl until Tiffany left and went on her own. And now I'm a Tiffany girl. But I recognize as a person in a healing journey, when you sit down in a chair with someone and you meet someone, you keep your hood on. You keep your hood on because you ain't safe in here. You keep your hood on. And interesting enough, Tiffany and I are talking, her hood is on as well. And we're taking our hood up, slowly inching it up, but we're pulling it back down when we don't feel safe again. But I remember Tiffany saying to me, yeah, my brother this, my brother that. And I finally said, is your brother gay? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so that's her pulling her hood back down because she's still so uncomfortable with how does this person feel, not knowing I'm engaged to a woman, at the time. So That kept happening. I came for a few sessions. We would pull our hoods up a little because remember, KKK, so we've got a hood on. So we're pulling our hoods up, we're pulling them down. And then that moment came where we both lifted our hoods. Mm-hmm. That's the healing journey. We only lift our hoods completely off when we know we're safe. Mm-hmm. We can't have our hoods off with everybody because if you haven't been through if you haven't started the healing journey and it hasn't impacted the change that's required, you've got to take that hood off slowly because you're not safe with that person. It's not you. It's that person because boundaries are clear.
Right.
Your peace is intact. Not that you do it perfectly, because I already told you I'm a bad bitch, and sometimes I gotta revisit shit. But that's truly how I look at the healing journey, and I would love to hear from our audience around how they look at it, because my metaphor for it is awful. It's the KKK.
No, but I implore people, really think about what, because the first time I heard that, I was like, whoa. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, they keep them hoods on because they doctors and lawyers and judges, police, nurses. And they have to protect their identity so that they can go and live their normal lives after they're done being racist. But aside from that, that metaphor, it makes sense in regards to protecting yourself.
Safety, as you said. It's that safety for sure. I know we ran a little long and we didn't only talk about boundaries, but a few things came up. But I did have a question in my head that I don't want to forget. What do you think when people don't respect your boundaries? Or what do you do when people don't respect your boundaries? How do you enforce it?
I am what they call a ghoster.
Yes, we talked about that. I can't stand her ghosting. I can't stand it. I like to let motherfuckers know where they stand. But I'm quietly detaching.
Because you know why.
Yeah.
You know why.
I'm learning.
And until you're ready to have that conversation, I'm so good. I'm going to fall back, live my life the way I've been living, and then pretend like you were never born.
That's the hard part. We set boundaries and then guilt sets in, right?
I don't feel guilty.
And we talk, and so again, the levity of the healing journey to me doesn't feel any guilt. There are times when I feel some guilt, and I know some listening may be like, that bitch don't feel no guilt. I really do. But
I miss people, but I don't feel guilty.
Maybe I should change what I'm thinking.
Like, I have a friend that we've been friends for, like, from childhood. We're no longer friends. I did that for me, and I don't regret it. I don't feel guilty, but sometimes I think about her and I'm like, I really hope she's doing well or she's doing better. Her kids are doing good, but that's none of my business.
That's kind. That's caring. Because a boundary without enforcement is just a request. That's what I just heard. As you're talking, I more so felt that. A boundary without enforcement is just a request. And if someone keeps crossing it, they're not confused. They're comfortable. Ooh. If someone keeps...
Girl.
They're not confused. They're comfortable.
Yep.
They're not confused. They're comfortable.
Because at that point, why have boundaries? If you've made a person comfortable enough to continuously cross your boundaries.
And how do you know when it's a boundary and when it's time to completely remove access? So do you continue to set boundaries or do you complete? Like, you're the perfect person to ask this question. And I think the audience already knows, but how do you know when it's time to create another boundary or it's time to just remove access?
Well, honestly, for me, it depends. But with some people in my life, sometimes when I set boundaries, the behavior get increasingly worse. And at that point, I cut them off. I've done that twice.
And I'm on no contact with several people.
Right. I mean, I always go no contact with anybody who is a habitual boundary crosser. But if the behaviors get progressively worse, it's just no contact, no phone call. I don't care about your life. I don't want you to care about mine.
Fair.
But if someone is like, they cross my boundaries, but it's not progressively worse, it's just them being airheads and not stopping to consider me, then I just back off. And once I back
I say
off,
not be considerate, because the airhead is too much credit. That's not. It's a lack of consideration.
yes, a lack of consideration. But if that person get their shit together and they reach back out to me and pull me closer, I'm willing to re-engage with them.
But it's got to be sustainable then.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. So.
Because boundaries are for relationships you want to keep safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to slow that down. Boundaries are for relationships you want to keep safe. Cutoffs are for relationships that you want to refuse and that you just don't feel safe in.
Yeah.
So some relationships don't survive boundaries because they're built on your self-abandonment. And here I go ready to pour out, but I'm going to save those tears for tonight at 8 o'clock when I take my bubble bath. And it's not a bubble bath. I soak in magnesium with baking soda, apple cider vinegar, lavender.
Why would I expect your bath not to be healthy?
Yeah, I'm going to save that. But on a serious note, some relationships don't survive boundaries because they're built on your self-abandonment. I'm a lyricist.
No, you've been having bars. Last episode?
What did I say, babe?
I don't remember. But it was the way you... No, it was like, my body's aligned. It was the way you were talking about...
Not a poet.
I was like, that was a bar.
Like, what boundaries do you have? I know your do not disturb goes on at like 9.
Yeah.
So that's a time boundary.
That's me trying to be more like present at home instead of like in my phone all the time. And also now with me running my business, people text me all hours of the night. Like I get texts at midnight.
Yeah. Oh.
About what hair they should buy. Like,
you don't need to see that until the morning.
Right. That's not, and I had to start setting those boundaries because I was the type of person that if I'm up and I see it, then I'll respond.
You will.
But I had to stop doing that. Like, these are outside my working hours. You can't call, what's a insert famous company, Target. Target closed at 10:30. You can't call them at 12:30 asking if they got something inside. Yeah.
That's a clear boundary. And I think for our Fluent fam, what I would like them to think about this week, and let me know how you feel about that, is name what you need. Peace, time, respect, rest from a boundaries perspective.
Use your words.
Yeah. State the boundary in one sentence, but you got to name it first. As I say, Maddie and I scan our bodies. Scan your body to figure that out. Decide the reinforcement ahead of time. That's really important. And your boundary doesn't need approval. It needs practice.
Yeah.
What Iverson said, it's just practice.
It's just practice. Not a game.
Practice.
Not a game.
But on a serious note, your boundaries need practice.
Yeah.
It's not going to come easy to you. I promise you it won't. And I think she has her PhD. I don't know what D I have. I got the big D.
But also, don't let other people put their expectations on you as well. Because I think when people, external affect where your boundary lines are, don't allow those things to blur your boundary lines. If you set a boundary and someone comes with a counter offer.
I got you this week.
Say that in English.
Exactly. My tongue gets hot. My lips, my lip gloss, my accent, all of it happens.
But if someone comes to you with a counter offer on your boundaries, bruh, we are not buying a house. The answer is no. Hard no. Yeah.
Hard no. You know what? If they could take anything, if our Fluent fam could take anything from today, is that boundaries don't make you hard. Tiff is as soft can be. And I'm looking for that soft life. They make you whole. And if somebody only likes you when you're over-giving, over-explaining, and exhausted, they don't love you. They love the access.
Yep.
So again, going back to sorry, was that sorry given for proximity, or was that sorry given for sustainable change and growth? So now that I said it, I'm going to repeat it. If we leave you with anything today, boundaries don't make you hard. They make you whole. And if somebody doesn't like you when you're overgiving, over-explaining, and exhausted, they don't love you. They love access to you.
And fuck them.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
Fuck them, to be more clear.
We thank you all for listening. You all stay fluent this week, and we'll be with you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Yo, release was semi. Besides the Henny, as I've seen plenty. Things get skinny as if Queens was a crack Jenny. Instead of diet plans, it's crack 200 grams. I pump a G-Pack, peeping for where the D's at. It's slow, looking for Rambo, the cop who got grazed back in the days. Chasing niggas through my project maze. That cop, he got a death wish. He run behind niggas until you breathless. Every day he making 10 arrest shit. My nigga, check this. I know the bitch he rests with. I even blessed it. 40-10 inspected. Already checked the done is ankle. You can see it's good.